dA and then minus del by del T of B dot dA over some loop, over some area. And this factor, if you apply Stokes theorem, it will be like this over closed loop. So this equation tells me that either the area it should be changing with time or the magnetic field that should be changing with time. Then only you can have the useful electric field, the induced electric field, which will be there to give rise, which will be used by the beam to be accelerated. Okay, so time independence is there. And then idea is just like okay, let me insert one more simple slide, and I am aware the time is running, but give me some 5 minutes more. Just think from the swing, Jhula. Okay, this is some kind of Jhula, and then somebody is sitting here with some here. And initially it is at rest. And there is somebody who is giving push or kick. So this will go and come back. And after second turn, when it is about to oscillate, so if this person gives again a kick at the right time, at the right phase, then in the second phase it will make even bigger amplitude. Then when it has come and ready for the third one, the kick should be at such a right phase, then it will go further beyond this. So this thing is known as, so you can see time dependence is there. So this is just an analogy, the mechanical thing converted to electric. So you can think this kick to be a source which is giving rise to electric fields, which is time dependent. So time dependence is coming because of correct phases. And second thing is the net acceleration is multiple steps, or if not steps, if I write multi-stage accelerations, multi-stage or multiple kicks acceleration in succession. All right, so then we have in this way, so you started with whatever small energy, but then giving kicks multiple times, and then only you generate high energy beams. This is what we call as time dependent acceleration mechanism. So this is the physics. So Maxwell's equations also say this thing, and based on that we have two types of machines. So if the just looking by the topology, if the acceleration mechanism such that the particle beam flow follows a closed circle, then we call them as circular accelerators. If the particle beam follows a straight line, then we call them as linear accelerators. All right. This is important. So all of you know about transformer. So transformer, you have two coils, two circuits. In one circuit you have, we call it primary and secondary. So there was a student, it is somewhere in, it's written 1930s. So there was a student, Widrow. So he was in his final year of bachelor's program. So there is nothing like MSc, or they call it as just BS and MS in Europe and as well as in the United States. So he came up with an idea that in a primary coil you have so you have primary coil, then you have some windings, and then you have a secondary coil, you have some winding. And then he said, in the secondary coil, instead of winding, if I just put the beam itself, so whatever step up transformer is doing its work, action, so there will be an induced electric field, and that electric field let the beam seize it, and in that way it can be accelerated. So initially this idea was thrown by the faculty members, oh, this is rubbish. But then he did it, and it was shown that that machine, using that concept, he was able to generate, I mean, this is now the latest data, 300 mega electron volt, but then he was able to generate several mega electron volts electron, and that was out of the box thing, and just by using Faraday's law and the transformer thing, and then he was conferred with Nobel Prize. Kirst and other, these were his colleagues who did it. So just focus on the right hand, and you see this thing. So you need to have two things: one magnetic field, which is not changing in time, and its job is to just give the circulation path. So in the picture here, you can see there is a flat part when it is giving rise to magnetic field. And then you see there is another part here, I mean on this periphery, where the time dependent magnetic field is there, and that role of that thing is to give rise to the step up transformer thing. I mean, it have to generate, I mean, by changing the magnetic field, you need to have electric field, so that. So this is the criteria, that from center of this to the center of this, if you call that the average magnetic field is written as average B, and then main magnetic field, which is time independent, is written as just B of R. So this is the criteria which has to be satisfied to have this machine working. And those days when nuclear reaction, I mean, all of you have studied beta decay in your JE. I mean, it was there in your NCERT books that I know. So beta was the name given for electron during nuclear reactions or a nuclear decay, beta decay. So that's the reason why this machine was called as betatron, because this machine was used for some important nuclear beta decay studies, beta decay studies. So that's why this machine was known as betatron, and this also earned a Nobel Prize. All right, so based on this equation, as I said, you need to have time-dependent thing. Either B is changing with time or area is changing with time, and that will give rise to induced electric field. So this one is induction accelerator. But then if the area is changing and the magnetic field is not changing, then whatever you get is known as cyclotron. So this magenta or brown thing, that is an ion source, it is shown here. And these blue lines, these are the zones where this time dependent kicks, electric kicks are there. And then it goes in a dotted line with some trajectory, semicircle, and then it gets another kick, and then it goes in a higher trajectory. And this is where they are getting their accelerations, and then they are having larger and larger trajectories. So you see the first cyclotron, it was just 4.5 feet in diameter, and it was 1929. It was done by what is his name, Orlando Lawrence. So there is a lab in Berkeley, Lawrence Berkeley National Laboratory. So Lawrence also earned a Nobel Prize just by this. So see, small piece, 4.5 feet is very small. And then you have one more thing. If the particle trajectory is remaining same, I mean, area means particle trajectory is not changing, but then magnetic field is changing. Just go to this equation. If B is changing, then whatever device you get is known as synchrotron. And if A is changing, then the device which you get, you call it as cyclotron. So these are the things. I think we could have, it would have been good if we could have another lecture, but it's okay. So if you have questions for me, you can ask me. I'm sorry I have exceeded few minutes, But if you have it, then let me know. If you don't, then all the best for your exam. So tell me, what is the wish list? And whatever we have discussed, I will ask questions only on that. Any question? I don't know whether people are there or left.
Sir, we are there.
You are there. So you know my name, Puneet Jain. If you have any doubt, you can send me an email. And if I don't see there is any question, so I think then can I know? May I know the CR or anybody who is present, or and just tell me your email ID or name, so that I can send it over email, and then you can share it by someone. I mean, amongst yourselves. And anybody volunteer?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, tell me your name.
So my name is Pranay Gupta. PRA.
Just tell me your email ID.
P_Gupta 1.
P
Yes.
underscore Gupta 1.
@ph.iit.
Okay, fine. That is more than sufficient. What's your full name, by the way?
Pranay Gupta.
Pranay Gupta. So I will send it all these slides, 17, 18 slides to you, and please do not forget to share amongst yourselves. And if you have
Yes.
any doubt, you can share it with me by just send me an email. All right, so let's
Sir,
close the.
I have one question.
Yep.
Sir,
Go ahead.
the magnetic field does not do any work, but in previous lectures by professors, I saw that they help in aligning the spin of the electron
Okay.
in a way. So, like the particle will have certain spin.
Mm-hmm.
Like I exactly don't know what is spin, but it will have certain spin, and the magnetic field can influence that spin. So
Yes.
it is doing some work. So how is that factor included here? For
Okay, so can we talk? It's basically the inherent spin you are talking about, and it is there is no such work done. If there is, so I think I got your question. And what's your name?
my name is Dev
Dev.
Jariwala.
Dev Jariwala. So can you send me an email and we can fix time and I can answer your question?
Yes, sir.
Because 6:15 I have Viva for BTech of mechanical engineering students, and they must be waiting.
Yes, sir. I'll
Okay.
send you the email
So you
right
just
now.
send me the email and I will happily sharing with you.
Yes, sir.
All right. So
Thank
I
you, sir.
hope you enjoyed and there was no torture from my side. So all the best, and we'll share it with Pranay Gupta.
Thank you.